You ready for the big one?
I got my favorite ones out. Yeah.
It's an Anthony Davis trade. And the thinking is, we've gone as far as we can go. We've done everything we could for you, LeBron. You've been here since 2018. We won a title together. We went and got your guy, Anthony Davis. We drafted your son and gave him a no-cut contract. Every time you've pushed us to do something, we've done it, including the Russell Westbrook trade, which were hands off after that happened. We've taken this as far as we can go. And we're not going to mortgage any more of the future for this, because for the first time ever, the Clippers have a better arena than us and probably a better team. And there's something cool happening with them, and there's nothing cool happening with us. And we're not going to be held hostage by this anymore. The story in sports, decades after decades, is people trying to appease aging superstars. It never ends well. We're not going to do it. We're going to zag the other way. We're going to trade Anthony Davis to the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, man.
And we're going to get back your buddy Draymond Green, Schroeder's expiring, Kuminga, Jackson Davis, Golden State's 25 and 27 firsts, and a 2029 pick swap that's LA's call. We're cashing in. What do you think?
Are you sure this is the Lakers going the other way? Draymond's still a really good defender.
It's a pretty good trade. They're getting Draymond, Schroeder, Kuminga. They get to roll dice with them, Jackson Davis. And if you're the Warriors, you still have enough left, and you're going to build around Davis and Curry going down the stretch, and you could probably get creative with some other moves. It's kind of fun.
I don't think the Warriors do it, but I'm intrigued.
Too many picks?
Yeah. Too many picks. And
all right, so let's just say that this year's number one, which would be in the middle of the draft, and a 27 unprotected first. So now I don't think the Lakers do it now.
You think Steph would break out? Let's say the Warriors are in a position, they're no to blowing it up, no to, trading Steph and Draymond this summer, right? Let's just say they're not going to do that. Do you think Steph would be willing to break up with Draymond in this scenario?
I think the only team that you could talk yourself into this being a realistic scenario is the Lakers, because Draymond get to live in Los Angeles and play with LeBron.
Draymond might want it to happen.
Draymond might be like, this sounds great. I've always wanted to be on the Lakers. Let's do it. I also think it's way harder to find an Anthony Davis trade that makes sense than people realize, because I have people in my life, it's time to trade Davis. It's like, where? Like, you're not trading to Houston. They can't even trade Şengün this year. Like, it would have to be like this summer, right? And at that point, LeBron's 41, and, people probably know. You go around the league, you would have said in the past, that maybe they get Karl Anthony Towns and some picks for him. But Karl Anthony Towns is playing great, And you go around the league, I think it's really hard to find the right trade for him that he'd be excited about, to put him on a team that could actually win a title. Like, could it be Oklahoma City? No, they're not mortgaging everything for Davis when they have Shea's big contract coming up, and they got to pay Jalen Williams soon. They're going to have to play Chet Holmgren soon. And they're not trading Chet for him. So you go through all the teams, and I think it's way harder to figure out. I even was like, Orlando will be a good one. Go look at their contracts. What's the Orlando trade? They can barely even match all the contracts to get to where AD is. So Golden State was the only one that made sense.
Orlando's interesting, though. If they were to give Isaac, who's like $24 million, I'm doing this off the top of my head. Cole Anthony, who's like 12, and then I think Jet Howard.
So Isaac would have to be in the trade.
Yeah, maybe that gets you there. Orlando would be interesting too.
The problem is the way the league is now with these different rules. It's really hard to make like a 5-for-1, right? You need that one awesome $28 million contract that you can put in a trade like that, and they just don't have it. So they could put. You said, what'd you say, Cole Anthony?
Something like that. I'm pulling up a trade machine right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at Spot Track.
Isaac at 25, Anthony at 12.9, and then Jet Howard.
I think Caldwell Pope would have to be in it. Right?
I'm not sure if he has.
Isaac makes 25 this year. That is pretty high.
25.
That's not what
so it would work. Yeah, 80 is $43.2 million. And then for Isaac, Anthony, and Jet Howard, those guys are.
Well, wouldn't Carter have to be in that trade, though?
No, I mean, it wouldn't have to be. Like finance-wise, he wouldn't have to be. Like you could put him in there instead of Cole Anthony potentially, I think.
Is Cerruti on this?
No. You can't do Wendell Carter. You could do Wendell Carter. No, you can't trade Wendell
Cerruti
Carter
on this
this year.
Zoom or no? I can't.
Carter has a trade restriction.
All right.
80 for Isaac, Anthony, and Howard, and then like a bunch of
let's
picks.
put Carter in there. I think I don't think the Lakers.
You can't trade Carter. Carter cannot be traded this season.
Oh, because he
has
had
a
the
restriction.
extension.
Yes, so he can't be traded. Yeah.
What do you think, Cerruti?
I think about it. I mean, I've been one of the, I feel like you, when we were in Denver, that we were talking about that, I was like the king of the Lakers should trade AD. Like, what's the point? Like, get what you can get for him. I never even thought of this as a possibility. I mean, it's not really what they need, but just imagine that team like that has like all-time defensive capabilities. Like, that would be absurd. I mean, just go all in on your identity. I'd be a little bit worried about, I don't know, the injury concerns and the age profile stuff, but it would be kind of fun.
So you'd have to do 25, 27, 29, and 31. I think you'd have to do 4 unprotected firsts. Probably throw in the Denver first that you have that's rolls over, and then maybe a swap. Like how many picks is that, KOC?
I mean, you just listed
is it
like
5, 6?
Do you want to give all those picks for AD?
I think that's where awesome. I say no. I think that's where I say no because
I don't know.
Is the timeline right? Like when in 2 years, like they're not winning the East this year. Maybe next year they could be a top 3 team. I mean, let's see about the health situation, but like it feels like they're going in completely opposite directions.
Cerruti,
like,
can I pause button you right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
You'd have a starting front line of AD, Paolo, and Franz. The timeline is like now when all those guys come back. I don't want to play that team. I don't want to see that team in a playoff series. The timeline is this year if you do that.
I want to do it.
But if it
for
doesn't
all those
work
picks.
out, you're kind of screwed, right?
You would.
If he gets hurt.
I wouldn't do it for all those picks.
3 picks?
I'd be cheap there if I'm the Magic. Like AD's 31 right now. He's got 4 years left until he's 34, 35 years old. And he's going to be making almost $60 million the next 3 years.
KOC, this is the part where I remind you that the Knicks traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
I know.
Davis
that's
is like
the bar.
11th best guy in the league.
I know. That's the bar.
I think it has to be 5 picks.
I think I'm saying no. I think I'm saying
wow.
No. And just wait for something else to happen.
Because
3 picks?
But here's the one thing, Cerruti, right? Like, what is that next thing? Because
no, you're right.
But let's say there's a player that anytime a player that becomes available who's better than AD, it's gonna be Utah or the Thunder or the Spurs, the Rockets, the Nets, these teams that have more picks in quantity and quality. Like the Magic,
right?
Only
the
have
Rockets
their
can
own
trade for him
basically.
this summer. They were Şengün and a bunch of stuff and go get him in July.
Yes, exactly. So all these other teams have more quantity and quality. That the Magic can't wait for that top 5 guy.
Right? They're trumping. They're jumping the line and grabbing him now.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think I'm okay long term with let those guys go. Big fish hunting, and we'll just make moves around the edges and kind of because you got the 2 guys, you've got the guys that matter,
I just disagree with you. It would be a better case if you were like, I'm not sure we should trade for Anthony Davis, who is super injury prone during the year that Paolo and Franz both suffered the exact same injury and Mo Wagner got hurt and Suggs got hurt. We do not want to bring our karma to Anthony Davis.
Make sure the obliques are iced up for every game. I know.
Yeah, what's Anthony Davis's oblique situation? Is it okay?
Oh my God.
He's just
I didn't know NBA players
those
hurt
guys
obliques
and he strains it.
Yeah.
Orlando's the only other one. I went through everybody else. I just there's like Sacramento, if you could do like a Sabonis Davis like that, but I don't know where that gets either team, I think it's Orlando.
I like Golden State. I like the Golden State one. It feels like that's a timeline match thing that just kind of works out.
I will say this, that trade I laid out, if that actually happened, would be one of the most fun trade moments of the 21st century. There's so much going on in that trade in all different directions that it just feels like we would talk about that for 10 straight days. Thanks, Cerruti.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cerruti. That 81 has me thinking, though. I mean, because for the Lakers, Bill, you're right. Like, I don't think they're going to necessarily go the other way that you're proposing. but it's something they should at least think about. Like this week, I made the case writing like the Warriors should blow it up because they're not going anywhere. Steph's declining. Draymond's declining. At least they're showing signs of it this year. It reminds me of the 2012-13 Celtics when KG and Pierce were still really good, but they clearly were beginning to fall a little bit. And they make the deal that leads to Tatum and Brown. And so I think the Warriors are in that spot where at least the front office and ownership should be thinking about it. And for the Lakers, obviously, LeBron's not the same guy. He's just not. He's still a great player, but he's not the same level player. And AD, who knows when the injuries will start perking back up again. So they should think about it. I just think that Lakers roster is still worth at least exploring adding more. But if the Magic call up and offer you 4 firsts and 2 swaps, you got to take that meeting and really think hard about it. Because if you do that, then that opens up your ability to say, oh, guess what? We are open to LeBron trades. And then if you were to get something for LeBron too, suddenly you'd have the most picks in the NBA. And then you're how
many contenders, teams that actually have a chance to win the title are a realistic option for a 40-year-old guy making $50 million a year with no trade clause? I can't find a single team. Even if you said like, oh, Cleveland, he wants to come back home. It's like, if I'm Cleveland, do I want to? That's a pretty like aggressive reshaking of the roster. I wouldn't do that.
I want to do it without LeBron if I'm Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, also like you have such a good thing. Now you're bringing somebody who the 2 generations of guys in the league like revere. It's really hard for him to be like, all right, just set some picks and hit a couple corner threes for us. Like he's going to have the ball. I don't know what the team is for him. So, and I don't think he wants to leave LA anyway. So it's not realistic. Davis as a trade is more realistic to me, but I just don't. The Lakers organization, I don't understand why they kowtow to these guys.
Maybe the Suns for LeBron, somebody like that. Short flight away from LA instead of Jimmy Butler.
But then now the Lakers are taking Beal. Like they don't want. I don't want to turn LeBron into Beal. No, thank you. Also, like. If you're the Lakers and you trade LeBron, all of a sudden your games, like if you're going to actually rebuild or you're going to like blow it up or whatever, like there is still, people go to the games to see LeBron. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the league. Like that's still a draw. And they're still in this mix where they seem relevant. People who don't actually watch basketball that much think they're still a contender. And there's an illusion of competitiveness that is, to me, not real, but you at least have that. Once you start blowing this up, now you're where you were in the mid 2010s.
Why is that? Is that because of LeBron not being top 2, top 3 anymore? Is that why, or is that more something about the supporting cast? Like, why do you think that is?
Well, he's 40. He's not close to being the same guy that he used to be.
He's still one of the 10 to 15 best guys. AD, you said 11th best or something like that. So if you still have 2 top 15
LeBron
guys,
doesn't play defense anymore. I don't understand how anyone could put him in the top 12 to 15 at this point.
So you don't have him up there?
I don't. I would have him in the top 25, but I think.
Wow.
I think it's really hard to beat good teams when you have multiple holes on defense like they have. I think that's a fair statement. Like when they're playing Reeves and Connect and LeBron all at the same time. It's like you can't play defense that way. So, and I'm not. What position is the perfect position for him? Ideally, right? It's the 4.
Yeah, point.
And then you have Rui playing with him. Really, you want to have perimeter guys and you want shooting, but that would mean LeBron would have to guard bigger guys and rebound more and step up on that. And it just doesn't seem like he has enough in the tank to do that anymore. So they're in a weird conundrum with him because he gets his stats. You can catch the right night. He looks great, but I don't see it night to night. When we get to the playoffs, it's every other game. So if I was the Lakers advisor, would either of us say like, you guys have a chance to make the finals with this team? You're 1 move away. I don't think they are.
They're 2 moves away from at least having a chance.
Everyone's 2 moves away.
But that's exactly why it's difficult for them. They're 2 moves away from having a chance, and even then, they're still not the favorite. I'm still not taking them in a series against OKC or Denver. I still think they're probably a second round out.
Yeah.
Even if they do get Levine, even if they do get Kessler, but you'd have a better shot in that scenario. But I still want to pick them for all the reasons we're talking about. You would need so much
luck with you'd need an OKC injury. You need something weird happen with. You'd have to go down and there would have to be a dumb thing that happened with every team. I just think
it can happen. That like the Warriors had a pretty good path in 2022, and like Kerr talked about recently, and they win it all. Like it's not impossible to happen. So that's what they need to weigh. But I do think, if a team calls up for AD and makes a significant offer, they need to be thinking about that. They have to.